Welcome to this deep dive. You've shared a fascinating collection of religious texts with us, and today our mission is to explore what these sources reveal about a figure named Kabir.
Hmm.
We're going to sift through these writings, identify the key claims made about him, and really understand the recurring themes that emerge.
Exactly. And you've provided us with a rich array of material. We've got excerpts identifying as being from the Yajurveda, the Guru Granth Sahib, Bhagavad Gita, Rig Veda, Atharveda, the Holy Quran, and writings from Guru Gurub Das Ji and Guru Nanak Dev Ji.
Quite a mix.
It really is. These texts span centuries, from ancient Vedic scriptures right up to later Sikh writings, potentially offering quite a broad historical perspective. So our central question is, what fundamental assertions do these diverse sources make about Kabir? And what might stand out to you as someone seeking to grasp this subject thoroughly and efficiently?
Okay, yeah, let's dive right into it then. One of the most prominent ideas, it seems, that keeps popping up across these texts is this assertion that Kabir is the supreme being. Paramatma. We see this in the Yajurveda. Chapter 8, verse 13 states, Paramatma has the power to destroy sins. And it connects this specifically to followers of Saint Rampalji Maharaj who live within certain guidelines. It's interesting, that direct link.
It is. And building on that idea of ultimate power, when we turn to the Guru Granth Sahib, we find Guru Nanak Dev Ji describing God appearing in a form called Dank.
Dank, okay.
Yeah, in Rag Siri Mahala 1. This form is said to reveal the true path and liberate individuals from the cycle of time. And significantly, this Dank form is explicitly identified as Kartar.
Kartar, meaning creator.
Meaning creator, exactly.
Yeah.
So here you have a specific divine manifestation linked directly to the act of creation itself.
Wow. And this idea of Kabir's supreme nature, it's pushed further in the Agam Nigam Bodh, isn't it? Attributed to Guru Nanak Ji.
That's right. On page 44, it declares, Wawa Kabir Guru Pura Hai.
Which means?
Wonderful. Kabir is the complete guru. The use of complete there is really telling, It suggests an absolute fullness of divine attributes and wisdom.
Complete. That concept, it resonates with another passage you pointed out in the Guru Granth Sahib, page 721, Mahala 1.
Yes. It states, Haka Kabir Kareem Tu Bayab Parvardigar.
O Kabir Paramatma, you are the merciful, limitless sustainer.
Precisely. And what's particularly striking there is that Guru Nanak Dev Ji identifies himself as being like the dust of the feet of Kabir's devotees.
Yeah, that indicates a clear spiritual hierarchy, a deep reverence.
Absolutely. A profound level of respect.
That image, the dust of the feet, it is powerful. Going back to the Guru Granth Sahib, Rag Siri, Mahala 1 again, page 24, we get another piece. It describes Thank Rup Raha Kartar.
The form of Kartar is Thank.
Right, and then connects this to Kabir appearing in various ways, specifically mentioning him appearing as a weaver.
Yes, as a weaver in Uttar Pradesh. It seems to be suggesting that this ultimate creative force can, manifest in different human forms and roles. It's not just an abstract concept.
Okay, so manifestation. This connects with the Saki Kantar Desh Kichali from the birth Saki.
It does. In that account, when Guru Nanak is asked about his guru, he identifies him as the living peer.
The living peer who is
none other than the Paramatma himself.
Yes.
And remarkably, it's stated that the entire world is a disciple of this living peer. That elevates Kabir to a position of universal spiritual authority, wouldn't you say?
Universal authority, definitely. Then we have the Saki Ruknadin Kazi Ke Sath Hoye, also in the birth Saki. This text attributes the very creation of Adam and the universe to the great Kabir, calling him the supreme master of all gurus. Kem Dayam Quadrati Sir Piran de Pir. That's a very direct claim about his role in, everything.
Extremely direct. Now, if we look at how Kabir might be understood in relation to, say, other traditions, the interpretation provided for the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse 3, is quite interesting.
How so?
It suggests that the supreme Akshar Brahm, described as being always with the soul, is actually Kabir Paramatma. And this interpretation distinguishes this supreme Akshar Brahm from the Brahm, who's giving the knowledge within the Gita itself. It positions Kabir as a reality even higher than that.
So a layer above the Gita's speaker in this view.
In this specific interpretation, yes. It certainly raises questions about how different interpretations can offer, varying perspectives on ultimate reality.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, seeing how Kabir is positioned across these different scriptural interpretations. Then we move into the Rig Veda, Mandal 9, Sukta 96, Mantra 17.
Yes. It states that Kavirdev appears as a child, grows, engages in divine play, Leela.
Leela, right. Divine play.
and is a poet who reveals the essence of knowledge. Crucially, this mantra explicitly identifies him as the complete Paramatma, Kabir Sahib.
The concept of Leela, divine play, suggests something spontaneous, joyful.
It does, yeah. An aspect of the divine's actions that isn't just about strict rules, perhaps. And the very next mantra, Rigveda Mandal 9, Sukta 96, Mantra 18, further specifies that this complete Paramatma, Kavridev Kabir Paramatma, resides in Satlok.
Satlok. And that's described as
The third place of liberation. So it gives us a location, a cosmological abode for this supreme being, a transcendent reality beyond our everyday world.
expanding on this idea. The eternal, unchanging supreme being. The Guru Granth Sahib, Rag Tilang Mahala 1, refers to the creator as compassionate Sat Kabir.
Emphasizing his eternal nature by calling him the immutable Paramatma.
Immutable. So across these different texts, we see this consistent attribution of ultimate creative power and a sense of permanence to Kabir.
And if we consider the Holy Atharva Veda, Kanda 4, Anuvak 1, Mantra 7, it directly states the name of Paramatma is Kavridev, Kabir Paramatma.
Explicitly named.
Very explicitly, identifying him as the creator of all, the unchanging and indestructible supreme being, Kabir Dev.
Okay. Finally, in this thread about Kabir as the supreme being, we have the Holy Quran, Surah Furqan 25.
Ayats 52 to 59. This excerpt states that Kabir Paramatma created the universe in 6 days and ascended the throne on the 7th day.
Directly linking Kabir to the creation story familiar in Abrahamic traditions.
Exactly. Furthermore, Surah Furqan 25.58 explicitly calls Kabir Allah, and Ayat 52 emphasizes steadfastness in his worship.
Yeah.
So what you see here is a connection being drawn in this interpretation between the figure of Kabir and the concept of God within Islam.
Allahu Akbar, the great Kabir.
That's the term used in the Saki with Ruknuddin Qazi, yes, Kabir Allah.
So when we bring all these diverse textual references together, a really compelling picture emerges, doesn't it?
It really does. Kabir is presented not merely as, a historical figure or just a spiritual teacher, but as the ultimate reality, the source of creation, the sustainer, the one existing beyond time and the physical realm.
It's fascinating how different traditions, through their scriptures, or at least interpretations of them, seem to converge on this central idea.
It is quite remarkable.
Okay, so we've seen how these texts lay out this idea of Kabir's supreme status. Now let's turn our attention to the specific actions and attributes that are ascribed to him within these sources. We've touched on creation, obviously, but what other key characteristics do we find?
Well, the Yajurveda, in both Chapter 8 and Chapter 5, reiterates that Kabir Paramatma is the destroyer of fins,
Right, we mentioned that.
and also the giver of complete peace. These are fundamental aspects, really, of the divine, in many spiritual traditions, the power to alleviate suffering and bestow inner tranquility.
And then there's that intriguing description in the Rig Veda about Paramatma manifesting as a child, engaging in Leela.
Yes. Mandal 9, Sukta 1, and Sukta 96. It even mentions this child being nurtured with the milk of virgin cows.
Which adds a layer of, well, mystical symbolism, I suppose.
Definitely. It certainly sparks the imagination. Furthermore, the text suggests that Kabir appears as a messenger of truth and knowledge, particularly at times when religious leaders have maybe deviated from the correct path and are leading society astray.
Ah, okay. A
Yeah.
sort of course correction function.
Kind of, yeah. While our outline didn't pinpoint a single verse for that general idea, it points to a recurring theme of divine intervention to guide humanity back to truth.
And then there's the assertion of Kabir being all-powerful. Sarv Shaktameen.
Yes. Rigveda Mandal 10, Suksas 161, 162, and 163 are cited as evidence of his ability to increase lifespan and cure all diseases.
So direct physical impact, healing, longevity.
Exactly. This attribute speaks to a divine power that can directly impact the physical well-being and, well, destiny of individuals.
The idea of a visible bodily form also seems consistent across several texts, doesn't it?
It does. The Yajurveda, in various places, along with the Rigveda, they all seem to suggest that Paramatma exists in a tangible form, often likened to a king.
Interesting. That contrasts with purely abstract or formless ideas of God.
It does. It presents a deity who could potentially be seen, maybe even interacted with, in a more personal way.
And this physical presence, it extends to his dwelling place, Satlok.
Right. Rigveda Mandal 9 describes Kabir in Satlok, residing in a radiant body. Again, this emphasizes a specific form and a defined location within a divine realm, rather than just an omnipresent but intangible force.
Radiant body in Satlok.
Okay. So if we summarize these actions and attributes, Kabir is portrayed as a being who not only created everything, but also actively intervenes, destroys sins, grants peace, reveals knowledge, heals, exists in a visible form, and lives in this radiant realm of Satlok. It's quite a multifaceted depiction of divine power and grace.
It really is. Finally, let's touch on the personal experience described by Guru Garib Das Ji in his Amritvani. That offers a unique kind of first-hand perspective.
Indeed. Guru Garib Das Ji describes being taken to Satlok by Kabir himself after receiving true devotion.
Wow.
And his description of Satlok as an Ajab Nagar, an amazing city filled with shimmering forms and beings resting in profound peace. It provides a vivid glimpse into the realm where Kabir resides, according to this account.
A powerful testament for believers, I imagine.
Absolutely, to the reality and splendor of this divine abode.
So, okay, let's try and draw all these threads together. Based on our deep dive into the text you provided, Kabir is presented as, well, far more than just a historical figure. He's consistently depicted as the supreme being, Paramatma, the ultimate creator, destroyer of sins, source of peace. These texts suggest he's appeared in various forms, has immense power over life and death, resides in a radiant bodily form in Satlok. What's truly remarkable, I think, is how these diverse religious traditions, different times, different places, seem to converge, or are interpreted to converge, on attributing this ultimate divine status and these huge cosmic roles to Kabir.
And this brings us to a crucial point, really, for you to consider. Given these diverse origins, this consistent portrayal, what might this suggest? About potential underlying unity or interconnectedness in different spiritual traditions.
Right.
What could it imply about the nature of ultimate reality itself and how it might be perceived or described across various cultures? And perhaps most significantly, what further questions does this deep dive spark for you regarding Kabir and the frankly extraordinary claims these sources make about him?
Lots to think about there.
It's certainly a profound topic for further reflection, something to mull over on your own.